Assalamualaikum. My name is Faiz Afridi Akbar. For my second INB 415 presentation, I have chosen the brand YAMATO Kimono Dream Maker. For this slogan, they have a company that realizes exciting dreams with kimonos. Now, let's talk about their roots and history. They established in 1917 in Koshikawa, Tokyo, right before the World War II. After the World War II, Japan was in devastation. Many people did not have anything to even eat. During that time, the kimono were passed down from generation to generation and was very expensive. Even the silk, the cloth that the kimonos were made from was very expensive. So, many people would go out to sell off their kimonos and yukatas so that they could get a little bit of money to feed their family. One piece of this kimono would feed their family for at least a week. This is how expensive they were. In the shop that Yajima was in, one day a girl would come to sell off her kimonos. She was young and dressed in a kimono herself. She was well elegant and was the very embodiment of Japanese beauty in the eye of Yajima. It was that time that he decided to open a kimono or yukata shop. In 1947, he finally established the Yamato company in Shinjuku. Here, the meaning of Yamato is also very deep. Yamato is the ancient name of Japan, which means that no matter what, Japan will rise again. In 1959, Yajima visited USA to get more inspiration for his business. And after he returned, he had the idea to open a specialist chain store, specialized in kimono fabric store. In 1959, Yajima officially visited US, and upon his return, he had the idea to open a specialist chain stores, specialized in kimono fabrics. In 1963, the company begins developing its own original products rather than selling fabrics for kimonos and traditional other things. In 1965, the first ever chain store of Yamato was opened in Shinjuku. In 1977, Yamato started appointing popular and influential people as official Yamato brand ambassadors. Yamato in this year became the first chain in the industry to have more than 100 stores. Now let's talk about the events, news and trends of that time when it started. In 1965, kimono started to rapidly increase in popularity because of its elegance, beauty as well as the indiminishing price that it had. In 1990, the kimono fashion had a revival as Yamato designed 8-color yukata. It kick-started a nationwide yukata boom. In 1998, during the 50th anniversary of the company, Japanese Beauty, National Treasure, otherwise known as Yamato Nadeshiko, themed kimonos was launched. The term Yamato Nadeshiko means Japanese beauty. The term Yamato Nadeshiko was very popularized, and even till this day, Yamato Nadeshiko is referred to a girl or a woman dressed in yukata or kimono and looks very elegant. In 2001, the super reversal Furisode kimono was launched. The specialty of this kimono was that kimono and the obi could be worn both ways, both in inwards or outwards. In 2004, a movement to make kimonos more casual was begun by Yamato, and they also launched a brand Nadeshiko that was aimed at young people, exclusively young women. During 2005, they participated in the Expo of Aichi. They also launched exhibition Momoyama Suganaka at the Tokyo National Museum. In 2006, during their 90th anniversary, Yamato Bishokai was announced. Here Bishokai means beauty competition, and they announced the beauty of Louvre. In 2013, they held the Kimono Day. It was a special occasion when people would go out wearing kimonos. It was very popular and was held all over the country. Even till this day, people observe Kimono Day and is held nationwide. In 2017, they opened a branch, Y & Sons, and exhibits tea kimono at the world's leading fashion fair, Pitti Uomo. They also launched a pop-up shop in London and announced quick kimono and quick yukata that only takes 5 minutes to wear, while traditional kimonos and yukatas would take half an hour at least to wear them. These are the revolutionary kimonos that I just talked about. This is the tea kimono. These are the quick kimono and yukata. These are the 8-colored kimonos that I just talked about that enabled the kimono popularity boom. And these are the Nadeshiko kimonos. Now, what are the contribution and development that they had over the past years? In 1970, they developed the Hajiko silk. It is a special silk that repels water and oil that are the main culprit of ruining a kimono. In 1978, the Garment Research Promotion Organization was established by them. In 2000, they popularized the second-hand kimono service and rental service. We all know that the kimono are very, very expensive, especially because of the way that they are produced and the silk that are used. Because of this, most of the people that did not have much money could not get kimonos. So, rather than selling first-hand kimonos, they started the service of selling second-hand kimonos as well as renting the kimonos for half a day or a day depending on the time frame. In 2002, the Sukuribe no Kai initiative was launched that aimed to train the next generation of skilled craftsmen. In 2007, To make kimonos more widely accessible, the Kimono More initiative was launched. In 2013, easily accessible kimono wearing classes, Kimono Club was launched within all Yamato Nadeshiko stores. Kimono Hyori was also launched across the country to enable people to go out in kimonos. It was also an event. So, how did they evolve? How do they compare from then and now? In 1947, when they started, there were no more than a drapery store that sold sewing, kits, and other silks. In 1959, they morphed into the specialized kimono fabric store. In 1977, Yamato became the first chain in the industry to have more than 100 stores. However, till this point, only traditional specialized kimono fabrics are being sold rather than full set of kimonos or accessories. In 1984, first ever branch brand Hanai was launched by them. In 2000, the first second-hand kimono shop Tansuya was launched as a franchise venture. It was this time that they also started landing kimonos. In 2022, currently they have 5 very successful branch brands and 1 additional sub-brand under their name. Each brand have different brand ambassadors depending on the brand's target audience and the brand image. Their products consist of traditional and modern kimonos and yukatas for men, women, and also they have second-hand kimono services as well as rental services. Accessories. The accessories are mainly obi, the geta, that the sandals that people wear with kimonos or yukatas, and various other clips and other things that can be known as accessories. Now let's talk about the branch brands. The first branch brand that I would like to talk about is Kimono Yamato, also known as Momo Yamato. It was established in 1947 and was the first brand that Yamato had. It is a huge couture luxury brand. The product types are both for men and women. They have traditional kimonos and yukatas, but the themes of this changes depending on the seasons. They also have the accessories that I just mentioned. The target market are people with traditional taste and formal wear. For the age group, it's 25 and up. For price point, the accessories starts from $34 to $948, which is really high comparing with other brands. And for the kimonos and yukatas, they start from at the lowest point of $1,437 to $3,828. Also, when compared with other brands, they are very high. When it comes to the revenue model, the products that they sell are exclusively produced by their own craftsmen and distributed by the chain of craftsmen, retail stores, catalog and online stores. They have full control from production to their service to the end consumers. So, they have firm control over their quality. And Yamato is also known for their quality as well. These are some of the products that they have. Now let's talk about Kimono by Nadeshiko. Previously, it was known as only by Nadeshiko. It established in 2004 and was launched by Taku Uehara, a stylist. It was a ready-to-wear designer type. For product type, they had traditional kimonos, yukatas, with modern twist, fashionable kimonos, and also accessories. Their target was mainly younger women from the age of 15 to 25. When it comes to the price point, the lowest for the accessories was $16 and the highest are $470. For their kimonos and yukatas, it starts at $365 to $948. For the revenue model, everything is the same except for that the design is done exclusively by Takako, and most of the time for each design there is only one available product. For additional info, a very prominent actress, Shinobu Terashima, as a part of Nadeshiko launched Hana Shinobu. Here, the designer is still Takako Uehara, but Shinobu was the poster girl for this brand. Here are some of the products that they have, and the model that you see is none other than Shinobu Terashima. For the next brand, let's talk about Double My Son. It is a very unique brand. It was established in 2012 and was launched by stylist Yuko Omori. She was also very popular stylist and had done various work with Japanese films. It is a ready-to-wear designer type. For products, they only target women and have traditional kimonos, yukatas and accessories. The target market, although women, they are referred to as eternal girls. Normally, colorful yukatas and kimonos are worn by younger people, and the elderly people wear grey, white, black, these dull type of colors. However, this brand targets those people even that want to break off that barrier and want to wear kimonos and yukatas that are not usually worn by their age group. For the price point, for accessories, the least is $16 and at the most it is $278. For kimonos and yukatas, starts off from $470 and max out at $949 or $50. For the revenue model, it's exactly the same as the others, except for the designer here is Yuko, and she is the one at control here. For additional info, under the name of Double Mason, they launched a furniture rental shop called Idol in Tokyo. Here are some of the products that they have. Now, let's move on to Y & Sons. It was established in 2015. It is also a couture and luxury type. For their products, they especially target men that are over the age of 20 with traditional taste. They have traditional kimonos and yukatas and as well as accessories. These are categorized as tailoring products. For their price, we can see that the accessories starts off at $15 and max out at $144. For the kimonos and yukatas, it starts off at $374 and max out at $1,581. The revenue model is the same as the others, except that it has no special designer but have many designers that design for this brand. These are the products that they have in store. Now, the next brand that I would like to talk about is The Yard. It is also a very unique brand, considering that the other brands that are there, especially even other companies, they have kimonos that are for special occasions or events. However, The Yard is slightly different as they want to sell kimonos that could be worn regularly, and they only target people that want to have kimonos in their daily life. It is a ready-to-wear and designer type brand that was established in 2015. For product type, they have more men and women and also unisex for the regular use of kimono and yukatas. They also have accessories to go with them. When it comes to their price point, it starts off at $16 and max out at $278 for accessories. And when it comes to kimonos and yukatas, it starts off at $278 and max out at $1,725. The revenue model is also the same as the others, as they have full control from production to the end experience of the consumer. These are some of the products that they have. Now, the last one that I want to talk about is Tsunagari. It is not a brand per se, but rather a project. In this project, they do collaboration with various other brands and companies. It is ready-to-wear designer type. For products, it targets both men and women, kimonos and yukatas, and targets people that want to own something very unique without any age restriction. For their price point, they start off normally at $365 at the max out of $672. For the revenue model, products are exclusively produced with the collaboration of other companies and distributed through its chain of craftsmen's retail stores, catalogs, and online stores. They have full control from production to their service to end customers as well as quality. For information, they have already done collaboration with many foreign and national brands such as Snow Peak, which is a Korean brand, Oyster, Kuramai, which is also a Korean brand, Agnes B, which is a Western brand, Japan Tobacco Incorporation, as well as Diet Butchered Slim Skin, both of which are Japanese companies. Now, these are the products that they have in this lineup. Here we can see they do not only have yukatas and kimonos but also some other styled clothes as well as notebooks and various other accessories. Let's talk about my recommendation that I would give to them. First off, the popularity of kimono and yukata is not only limited within their own nation but also expanding globally. So I think they should also focus on expanding globally rather than focusing on their own national market. The second thing that I would like to say is their products are exclusively produced and are very high in price, especially considering other brands that sell same yukatas and kimonos. So they could consider outsourcing. Also, one thing to mention here is that they are very high because they only produce their products through the craftsmen that they themselves train. Third point that I want to mention is that most of their brands that they have cater towards either adults or elderly people, except for Nadeshiko that targets teenage and young girls. However, they don't have any brands or segment to target young or teenage boys. So it is a very big segment that they could consider themselves entering. For the last recommendation that I could give is their online shop and their website. In the website, in a single website, they have all their brands, which makes the website a bit cramped. Also, let me show you. It will be easier for you to understand. Here, as you can see, the website is in Japanese. All the many people from different part of the world want to buy from them. They have to use Google Translate just like me to understand what they are saying in their website, which is not very convenient as most of the time Google translation still has some errors. And also all of their products are mentioned in yen rather than dollars, which is a very big drawback for them. However, they still have pickup or delivery service for outside the country as well. So I think they should consider optimizing their website. For foreign customers as well. Thank you. That's all I had. Thanks for tuning in.